with that. I don't want to take up too much of your time, and we are running late. So today was about an issue that I was speaking to Kieran, one of the challenges about. She's in Canada. She like wakes up 3 a.m. every morning, does some TL for an hour, and then and then she'll go home, get her kids ready. She has like a solid routine. Hey Joe, how you doing? Can you hear me? Okay, so she has a solid routine. Get up at this time, do this at this time, go to work at this time, and then she'll, um, you know, has her kids and feed them and all that kind of stuff, right? So she's got a very kind of strict regimen. And then she was saying, I don't feel like exercising, right? She signed up, she wants to, she's done a transformation before, she knows she can do it, but it's just actually like having the mental space and to do it. And I was talking to her yesterday, and I was like, it's not about time, it's about energy. Because she says she has 1 hour free in the day, right? And now, if you had 1 hour free in the day, you might not want to spend that 1 hour exercising. You might want to spend that 1 hour just sleeping, or having a bath or something, right? So it's about managing energy more so than it's about managing time. Because if you're high on energy, if you've got a lot of energy, then you can spend 10 minutes doing workout and you can still feel great because you've done an intense workout. I did a 10-minute hard corpse 22 workout today, in the garden, and it was brilliant. Just 10 minutes, it was like done, and I just felt so good afterwards. So it's not necessarily about time, it's just finding the energy and mental space. So this is all about how to do that and the strategies that we were talking about yesterday. So the first thing is to just kind of let go of expectation. Because when you like expect to be on point with this, and you expect to be on point with your exercise, and you expect to be on point with your work and your family life and your meditation and everything, it's very difficult when you're putting that much pressure on yourself to be successful, because if you're juggling all these balls, you're going to drop one of them essentially if you're putting too much pressure on yourself. So it's about figuring out, what can you manage, and in how much time. So if you're working a 12-hour workday, it's going to be very difficult for you to do other things like spend time with your family or doing all that kind of stuff. So you got to figure out, if you got 1 hour, how much of the other things can you do in there. So if like doing your meditation is important to you, maybe you only have like 5 minutes to do meditation. And if exercise is important to you, and you've got like 15 minutes free, and then you need 45 minutes just to relax, then you've got 5 minutes for exercise, 5 minutes for meditation, and 5 minutes for spending time with your family, right? So it's just it's just about just taking the pressure away. There's no pressure. There's no Being healthy isn't meant to be an additional burden. It's not meant to be, oh, now I have to do this as well. It's an investment in yourself, an investment in your longevity, and you're preventing chronic illness. Because life is one thing, but living it healthy for the duration of it is another thing. So how long you live is one thing, and then how healthy you live, or how much life you have within those years, is another thing. So, and health is a part of that, but it's just about how big of a part you can manage. So that was the first thing I would say is, like with Manpreet, for example, right? He's juggling a lot of things. I would just say eliminate the expectation that you need to do this much, right? It's just what can you fit in, and anything that you do is a bonus. It's brilliant as long as you're doing something. I was saying to Kiran that if you did, if like with Jot, right? If she does one workout this week and she hadn't done it last week, then she's stronger this week than she was last week. That's brilliant. there's no like there's no you need to do what X, Y, and Z is doing, right? So not all of us are like B, who are going to be able to train every day and be on point with our diet every day. So and that's fine. We've just got to be improving ourselves and have ourselves as a benchmark, not anybody else. So that's the first thing, is just getting rid of expectation. The second thing is around cutting your goals in half. Now, this is something that I learned a couple of months ago from reading it in a book. And I thought, 10K steps a day is a good goal. I could easily do that on most days. And what would happen is most days I would do that, but there'd be the 1 or 2 days in the week where I'd be mostly at home and not doing much. And then I'd get 3,000 steps on that day and I'd feel like a failure. And the guy was like, in the book I was reading, Cal Newport, and it's a book on goals, and it's called Finishing, on actually, it's just the whole thing is about actually achieving your goals as opposed to setting them. So he was like, cut it in half, and I set the goal to 5,000. And so since I've done 5,000, on a day when I've got 3,000, I'll just walk around the living room and most of the time, because I've got this high of every day I've been crushing my goals, I'll do like 12,000 most days, right? Or some days I just did 12,000 today, but and on average I'll hit 10,000. But before, what was happening was I was doing 10,000, then doing 2,000 1 or 2 days, and then my average would be like 8 or 7. So cumulatively, I've done a lot better health-wise since I've actually halved my goals. So it's counterintuitive, but instead of setting like a reach goal, something which is going to push you and something that you're going to have to strive towards, doing that on a consistent basis through the ups and downs of life and ups and downs of your schedule, and someone might get ill, something might happen, is going to be really difficult. If you reduce the expectations that you have on yourself, that is going to be a lot it's going to be a lot easier for you to actually achieve it and to be consistent. So with her, she's already done 3 workouts this week, and I was like, instead of aiming for 1 workout a day, why don't we aim for 1 a week? And if you get 3, you're going to feel like I'm amazing, and it's going to build your momentum, build your self-esteem, build your self-efficacy, so that you are able to do more and more and more. But if you say I'm going to do 5 and then you end up doing 4, you feel like a failure, and that's not helpful for anybody. um, so that's the second point, is half your goals. And then the third point is all of what we're doing is about being healthy. It's about eating a diet so that we have enough energy. It's about getting having Shakeology so that we fill in any gaps in our nutrition, and so that we can live a healthier life and have more energy. It's about doing exercise so we can clear our minds and our body can function without getting aches and pains, right? So health is about health, right? It's not there to be something that is going to be making you sick from the stress of having to do it, or but making you overdo it in a way that you burn out. Like if you've got, with Kieran, for example, if she's got an hour a day free and she hasn't slept and she feels tired and she feels like she needs to catch up on sleep, then she should sleep, because this is about being healthy. It's not about she needs to hit her workouts 7 days in the week. Doesn't matter if she slept 3 hours, she just needs to get it done, because that's not what this is about. Same with like, if it was diet wise, if that was the thing that we were working on with her, then it's not about she needs to eat this, stick to this diet plan 5 days a week. If she doesn't, she's a failure, right? If she's working on one meal, which is breakfast, getting that really good, and we aim for 3 days a week, and a couple of days a week she actually thinks, you know what, I don't have the time and I'm just going to have a coffee and that's it, on the go, then that's absolutely fine, because this isn't meant to be there to stress anybody out, to make their life harder, to give them more pressure, to give them like, take away from the other things that they need to be doing to look after their health, which is maintaining their relationships, sleeping, are probably the two big ones that are really important as well. So does that make sense to everyone? B Manpreet Job, you can type. If you can't talk, you can always. Perfect. All right, so B, what's your take on it? Let's get some, or do you have any question related to anything else? I'm going to hand it over to you guys now. And
Hi, yeah. So in terms of what you're saying, I absolutely have to agree with you that it's really difficult to be on it all the time. It's not the easiest thing to do when you're stressing about trying to achieve things. So you have to make things manageable for yourself, because we've all got totally different schedules and run different time zones, and our responsibilities are really variable. So, like you said, not everybody can do everything all of the time, and it's just about getting a balance. And yeah, not stressing yourself out if you miss a day, or you know, don't have the right things in your meal because you don't really have access to food on the go. So I think you've covered all the points. There's not really much more I can add to that, really.
Okay, thanks, B. Manpreet, can you give us like your thoughts?
I agree with what you said. Now, and I kind of use that, like, as you know, with like Transform 20, like I got tired out and whatever. So I burnt myself out because I was so hyped up and I wanted to do it all. Then my body couldn't keep up. So I was like aching and I couldn't deal with it. So what I started doing, like I told you, was I used to do like 5 minutes a day. So then I basically cut back on it so that it would make me feel better. So if I did 10 minutes, I felt really good because I was like, whoa, I did double what I was meant to do. And that actually made me more consistent than trying to tell myself I'll do 20 minutes. And also having a lower goal, I don't know why mentally it fatigues you a lot less. Like most of the tiredness, I think, comes from not actually doing the exercise, it's getting up to say, I'm going to do it right now. That takes more energy than the exercise itself. So telling myself, oh, you only have to get up for 5 minutes, that then motivates me to get up for 5 minutes. And then once I'm up for 5 minutes, I want to do 20 anyway. So I found that was really useful. And also, the other point you said, like, I found that, like, with Bard, the way I did it was I used to read, like, certain bards when I'm adding them to my Nitnem. I used to read literally once a week. And then what I found was you do that, and then for a couple of months, you carry on doing that, and then gradually you build it up. It's a lot easier than trying to do it every day, than burning yourself out and you can't keep up. So I don't know, I like everything you said was, I agree with it. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that, Manpreet. Job, I know you're new to this. This is like your day one, but do you have any questions? Or do you have anything to add, or does any of this make any sense at this point in time? We still need to come up with your diet later on tonight. Can you hear us? Or you can type. You might still be new to Zoom as well, so I'm going to give you like the benefit of the doubt that you're there. Okay, that's fine. Let's carry on. So that's kind of it. It's very short. Hopefully, it's not going to take too much time for other people to watch back, but still for them to get the value of it. For those of you who actually jumped on the live, I really appreciate it. I know it's late. It's just with kids and trying to keep up with everybody. It's timing wise, it's just worked out a bit later today, but hopefully I'll make it at a more reasonable time, like 9 p.m. or something, or earlier, depending on what you guys say, so that more of you can be here. Also, take into account some people are in Canada. There's Simi's from Calgary, and and America. So that's is time zone wise as well. There's a couple of things to factor in, but really appreciate you guys taking out the time. And I'm going to end the call here. If you do have any questions, obviously DM me anytime. One of the things that is whatever's working for you, whatever you're struggling with. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be messaging all of you, probably either tonight or tomorrow, and just setting goals for the week. So me and B do this as well. Like we have goals, and then when she hits those goals, then we work on, okay, well, what's next, and then what's next, and she works through them in her own time. So if we set those for everyone, Manpreet's doing really well. His goal was to send me photos of his meals, and I was teasing because I'm like, if you saw him, you'd be shocked at like how much he can eat. Like he's like a monster's diet in a normal person's body, but it's incredible. But he's like keeping up with the accountability of taking that minute to send those meals through, so that I can critique them and just tweak them. So let's set goals for the week. Let's crush those goals and let's keep making progress. So thank you very much, guys. Have a good evening, and I'll speak. Job, I'll give you a call now. All right, thank you.